Today, because I'm not really, my voice still isn't quite back yet. So we're going, rather than me chanting and driving you crazy, we're going to do one of the meditations from Discovering Buddhism. So it's continuity of consciousness. It's always great to think about these things. So um, let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. Mm. So I'm going to have to squash it into 20 minutes now. I will. So you can have both feet flat on the floor, about a hip's width apart, and have your shoulders aligned with your hips and your ears aligned with your shoulders. And you have your hands resting comfortably in your lap, either in the meditation mudra with the right hand nestled in the left with the thumbs touching, or or your hands just resting gently on your quads. Excuse me. And imagine you have your spine is this beautiful string of pearls of light. It stretches from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. So imagine you're lengthening your spine and putting some space in between those vertebrae. And then go to the crown of the head and relax your scalp. Just release any tension on the crown of the head. Maybe you can feel some sensation there. And relax the forehead, the eyebrows, the eyes, the nose, and the cheeks, and the area around the mouth, and the tongue, the back of the tongue, and the jaw, and your ears, and your inner ear, and your temples. Relax the back of the head and the neck. Put a little bit of length in the back of the neck. So your chin is not too high, it's not too low, it's just somewhere in the middle. Allow your shoulders and shoulder blades just to sort of drop down, to relax. So you're not holding any tension in your arms or hands. And then just relax the rest of your body, your chest and belly and limbs. And then notice the sensations of the breath as you inhale and exhale. You may notice the sensations of the breath around the nostrils. It's a little bit cooler, the air, as you inhale, slightly warmer as you exhale. You may also notice the breath sensations around the thoracic region. And just as you're breathing in and out, just be aware of the expansion and the contraction of your rib cage in a 360-degree movement. So not just at the front, not just your shoulders kind of slightly rising, but think more of your rib cage expanding. And then notice the belly. So during the meditation, just focus on one of these breath sensation areas. And be aware of any sound in your environment, any sensory information. Could also be smell. Maybe people are making coffee or breakfast, or maybe you can hear pets or other people in your home. So just allow all of that sensory information just to be there, trying not to follow it with the mind. Then be aware of the thoughts that are arising in the mind. So we have some thoughts in our mind that we kind of race towards, that we feel that we need to attend to. Others we kind of push away. So try and have a neutral stance towards all the thoughts in the mind. Be curious and objective. And try and put some space in between those thoughts. And be gentle with yourself. And then bring to mind all the people of your life. So your loved ones, the ones we care about so deeply, have these profound relationships with. Then there's our strangers, and then there's these people in our life we don't like so much. We have aversion for them. So, due to impermanence, these relationships can be interchangeable. And regardless of how we think about them, we're all equal. Everybody's just the same, really. When it comes down to it, everyone just wants to be happy. No one wants to suffer. And everyone has this extraordinary capacity for this Buddha mind. So we'll do this meditation this morning on the continuity of consciousness. And it was put together by an old student of Lama Yeshe called Tupten Yeshe, who has the same name. And she leads the first of the Discovering Buddhism series. So it's really quite a beautiful, it's quite a beautiful course, actually. So we already looked a little bit about what's going on in the mind this morning. So just watch the activity in your mind. Start to look at it. Look at the flow of thoughts, emotions, sensations, judgments, projections, expectations, plans for this morning, for today. And just watch these mental events without any involvement. No criticism, no attraction, no rejection. Just watch what's going on like a neutral scientific observer has no investment in the objects of observation. Just watch the process. And have this attitude of curiosity about what's in there. And then when you're ready, catch one of these moments from the point where it's at, and begin to journey backwards in time from one mental event to the previous one. So briefly scan your mental experiences traveling backwards through the last hour. So some of you have been up for a while. For Shrey, it's evening. I didn't notice if we have anyone here from Europe, but whatever your last hour is, So just keep going backwards to maybe a meal that you had, or did you have a cup of tea or coffee when you woke up? So everybody, so we're on the same page, go back to the morning. Is there a relationship between one moment and the previous and the one before that? Does your mind feel a bit like popcorn? You know, this thought, then this thought, and I've got to do this, and then I have to do that. Or maybe like a squirrel or something. But just see if there's a connection between the thoughts. And go back to the dreams that you remember. Back to the night before, the thoughts you had as you went to sleep. Are there any connections or relationships between these mental events? Take your mind back to yesterday. The day before that, last week, last month, last month was December. What were you doing in December? And then last year, 2024. And try not to engage with the story that's unfolding. Simply watch without involvement, without judgment, just looking for connections. And then keep traveling backwards through your life, watching the mental events of the last decade. Go back to your youth. We're all different ages here, so it might have a different meaning for everybody. Anyway, to take yourself back into your 20s and your adolescence. In your childhood. Can you remember being a baby? Sometimes people can remember their birth. Do you remember your birth? If you can go back to your birth, what happens then? What happened before that in the womb? Were you already thinking when you were in the womb? What about the moment of your conception? Try and see the possibilities. Does the flow cease? Does it continue? Just relax and let each mental event arise in its own time and observe the process at work. And when you've gone back as far as you can, gently return to the present moment and breathe. And again, watch the activity of your mind, observing mental events as they arise without involvement of any kind: criticism, attraction, rejection, looking for the connections. Now imagine your mind stream flowing out before you, one thought, then the next, into the future. Imagine the process and let your imagination go. Watch the possibilities for the future, your mind flowing out into the rest of the day, into tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, and so on until your death. So consider the possibilities at this point in time, at the time of your passing. Does this flow, this mental continuum cease? Does it stop there? Or does it continue? Does it just keep moving on? Or does it change somehow? And what happens now? What are the possibilities for you? So for the next couple of minutes, just allow your mind to expand and explore these possibilities. And just be curious. You don't have to come to a conclusion. You're just exploring. So now bring your mind back to the same place your body is and settle into the present moment. And bring to mind the motivation that we established at the beginning of the meditation. And dedicate any understanding, any spiritual energy and creative potential, any insights you may have had that you've generated doing this meditation, the realizations of your goals, to taking the next step on your spiritual journey. For your own sake and for the sake of all the people in your life. Okay, everyone, that's it. So I just wanted to mention this particular meditation is not a regression exercise. We're not going back into our past lives, et cetera, et cetera. It's just to get a sense of the continuity of the mind, sort of moment by moment. Anyway, I hope that came across. Lots of love. Thank you so much, Mary and Lou. Where's Lou? Who's gone? Okay. For sorting out all those. Sorry about all the issues at the beginning. Okay, lots of love, and I'll see some of you this evening. Okay.